Hello and welcome to my first attempt at making a walkthrough on YouTube. This is for the Dream Machine, which is a classic point-and-click adventure game. I haven't really played any point-and-clicks since I was a child, and as I'm now in my mid-30s, it's been quite a while. But this seems to follow the same sort of format as they did back in the 80s and 90s, the Leisure Suit Larrys, the King's Quests, anything like that. They're pretty much the same. This is out in 6 chapters, and as you can see at the moment, only the first 4 are currently available. They're still making chapters 5 and 6. Each chapter gives you a good, I don't know, if you're exploring the entire game properly, and as with point and clicks I tend to, you can get through a chapter can take up to 2 hours. If you're just rushing through and trying to get to the end as quickly as possible, maybe some of the chapters could be as quick as half an hour, some as slow as an hour, I'd say. Anyway, on with the game. I won't bother with the introduction because you really don't need that. So this is the game. It's a very simple look, but I think as simple as it is, it looks incredibly good. This is where we start off on this island. I'm not going to give too much backstory to things. This isn't something to spoil the storyline. This is something to help you with anything you're stuck on, so that you can very quickly find what you're looking for on the one part you're actually hunting for. I'll be making a walkthrough in a text document as well, which I'll link into here. It's not up yet, but it will be up later on, and it'll literally be step by step what you need to do to get through. I will skip through as much dialogue as possible so that there's no hanging around. I will, if there is a certain piece of dialogue that you must click, then I'll point it out to you, but otherwise I'll try and skip through as much as I can. So here we are on this deserted island. You'll see we've got a fishing rod. We need to pick up everything that can be picked up, to be honest. We've got a fishing rod, we've got a piece of wood, another piece of wood, another piece of wood. We've got this shovel, and this rock here, if we click on it, we can move that out of the way, and there's a lighter. Right, now what we need to do is we need to go fishing, and we need to catch our fish and then cook it and eat it. So we've got our rod, but we need a worm first. So if we use our shovel on the first or second attempt, it's not always on the first attempt. You see we've got nothing here, it's just an empty piece. So we just go back to the shovel and put it somewhere else in the ground, and we click here and we should find a worm. Yep, pick up a worm, leave there. So now we have a worm, so we need to move the worm over to our fishing rod. I baited the hook with the worm, he says, so now I should be able to put the fishing rod onto this forked branch here. And whilst I'm waiting for that to catch, I can move my logs to where the campfire is, and I can use the lighter on that and set that alight. Boom, we got a fire, excellent. Go back to reeling in the fish, and then we have a live fish. He won't cook it alive, he wants it dead first, so we use the shovel and smack it over the head. It seems to have killed the fish, good. Put the fish over the fireplace, and whilst we're hovering over here it says pick up fish, pick up fish. We want to wait until it says pick up grilled fish, that's when we know it's done. So it does take a little while, it takes about 10 seconds or so. There we are, pick up grilled fish, marvellous. Okay, and now we just drag the fish onto ourselves to eat it, and it says it tastes great, but what's this? How strange, there's a map inside the fish. That is odd. You know, of all the thousands of fish, there's a map on this one, but hey ho. And it's a map of the island, and it's basically upside down, so the cross where they want you to dig obviously is on, it's not on the furthest side of the island, it's on the nearest side to you. So let's just grab that, bring it to the nearest. It says use shovel with ground, and inside here we will find an alarm clock, and when the red timer ticker goes to the black one there, bling, and there we go, and it's an alarm clock. And then we find it was all just a dream. So here we are in the real world. I'm just clicking that to turn off the alarm clock. There's not a lot in here. There's lots and lots of boxes, there's the lamp, there's things you can click on, and I would recommend looking at everything that you possibly can when you're playing this game. But as this is just a walkthrough, I'm just going to skip to the important parts. So the first thing is this box over here. Inside here we should find a telephone, but we will have to drag things around a bit until we find it. There it is, it's just underneath all that, so we just click on the telephone. I'm going to leave that, so I'm just going to quickly run through the rooms and grab anything that's needed. Over here we've got the mail, so let's grab the mail. Marvellous, let's open that letter. Click on here, take the letter out, leave, and we want to, I know it seems odd, but we need to examine that letter, because even though it's just a basic thing saying, hey look, you've rented this house, it's got a number on there, you don't have to remember it, but it needs to be seen. We also want to have a look at the envelope, because we need to know where we live. Again, you'll find out very shortly why, but there we go. So that's it, that's all there is in that room, we don't need anything else from there. We can go in the kitchen, that's your pregnant girlfriend there. And in here is our bathroom, and you'll find that we need this baby oil, again for later. I'm literally just rushing through, telling you what you need to do to get through it. So, let's talk to her in a minute. Let's go out here first, let's go into our living room. And over here by the ashtray is some paper. And if we take this paper out of the ashtray, let's just leave that, have a look at it. It's the remains of a letter. Somebody tried to destroy it, but the fire didn't consume it entirely, and if he unfolds it carefully he'll be able to read it. There, that should do it. Marvellous. Right, so isn't he clever? Unfolded the piece of paper to learn how to read. Now in here is the piece of paper. You do need to assemble this, as I understand it, you need to assemble it so you can say that you've read it. So it's a bizarre way of moving things I've found. You can rotate them, but you have to grab them in the corner and it will slowly rotate them in that direction. So it's an odd way of doing it, but it works, it does the trick. I'm just going to rotate all these pieces. I'm afraid this will take a few seconds because I'm not that great at this. And that's putting it mildly. So something like that. Grab this piece. There we go. Something like that. Something like that. Something like that. And something like this. And this is very rough, but I do seem to remember that later on in other chapters they make these things much more permanent. You know, you know that you've got it in the right place because it clicks into place. Anyway, there's your piece of paper, and it's essentially saying that there's something under the floorboard directly below the light switch at the bedroom. This is from the previous tenant, so again, you can read up on the story, you can play the game properly and you'll understand it. You can talk to her about the note as well here. She's making you breakfast at the moment, and essentially she just wants you to eat breakfast, and she wants to eat it inside on anything flat, and the only thing flat really is this empty box. So if I pick up this empty box, go back into the living room and place it on the floor, turn it into a little makeshift table for her so she can feed us our breakfast. So we go back in and we tell her breakfast is ready. You can see here, you can talk about the note. I mean, I can very quickly run through it. She has a read of it. She thinks it's probably a hoax, and we just debate it for a few seconds. Again, I'm not going to go through it all. Now we'll tell her that we found the empty box by the sink. She's happy with that. She says go sit back down over there and she'll bring you in to breakfast. So, nice girlfriend, especially if she's pregnant. She's not using it as an excuse. Alright, so we sit down, she comes in, where's our breakfast, magically appears, and we chat about how this is the first time we've sat down and had breakfast at our new home. You can say whatever you like really here. You just read through, you talk about your dreams and the dream that you'd had. You can tell her how you went fishing, and you can tell her all about the fish and what you did and how very exciting it was. And then she starts telling you about her own dream as well. And that is important. I wouldn't skip through the dialogue, because a lot of it is important to understand what's happening and why. Otherwise it just seems like a random sequence of events. So you ask her about her dream, she starts telling you all about it, and in fact her dream is chapter 3, I think, is her dream. So yeah, you carry on nattering. I'm afraid, in a walkthrough I just have to keep on pressing and pressing and pressing and pressing, yada yada yada. Yes, yes, yes. And now we're going on about the fact that we need our key. We don't have a key to the apartment. The caretaker let us in the day before, and we don't have the key. He was supposed to bring it in earlier, and he didn't. So I said I'll go call him. Which is why picking up the telephone early was rather useful. And it's also why we read that letter, because I've got to call the people that are in that letter. And it's also why I need to find out my address, because we need to tell them my address. So if we move this box here, there's the telephone socket. So if we just grab the telephone, there we go, click on the telephone. There we go, I heard that a few times with this. Right, cool. So I'm just telling them who I am. I tell them I'm trying to reach the caretaker. I tell them my address, because I now know it, because I read the envelope. Okay, and you can go through all these, but it's Mr. Morton, so there we go. And they give me his number. Excellent. And I say, right, that's all, thanks for your help, goodbye. And then I use the phone again and call Mr. Morton. And he's going to say he completely forgot, sorry, I'll bring it straight up to you. And I say thank you very much, and we'll be done. That's it, done. Right, so now he doesn't normally call immediately, so I tend to take this opportunity to go back to the nursery and look at that floorboard. It doesn't matter that I can't do anything with it. It says the board is nailed to the floor. Can't bring it up with my bare hands. We'll fix that shortly. I believe, let me just check, I think I may need to talk to the girlfriend. So yeah, I told him, there we go, right, so I've told her that he'll be right back with the keys. And there's the doorbell, so I can now answer the door. Here he is. He's a big part of this. He's the whole cause of pretty much the entire adventure game. So he's given me the key. Again, definitely worth chatting to them to find out more information. But anyway, I've got a key now, and we're going to immediately. I need to tell Alicia, I believe, to tell her that I've got the key. I can't recall. Was that Mr. Morton? Yes, he was here to drop off the keys. And now she's happy, she can shut up. So, we are now done within here for now. So here's your apartment complex. Most of these areas are completely inaccessible. You can't use that area, can't go in there, can't open that. You can talk to your neighbour. Again, she's an important part on one of the chapters. I think it's chapter 4. She's a huge part of. The nice old lady called Edie. She'll pop out in a second because I'm going to use the elevator. And the doors will get stuck. Yeah, so she'll pop out. And I introduce myself. I tell her I'm having a problem with the elevator, and she tells us that it needs something like butter to loosen off the hinges. but she doesn't have any butter that she can loan me at the moment, but that's why we have the baby oil. So we put the baby oil on the elevator, opens this up nicely, goes straight in. Level 3 is exactly the same as this level, but you just can't go into any of the doors. Level 2 is this level. Level 1 is where we want to go to. B is the basement, which you can't access without a key, and you've got an alarm button which it doesn't let you push. So we go down to level 1. Here we are, down at level 1. Mr. Morton's in there. Just quickly, I'll just show you, we don't need to speak to him, but inside you'll see there's a key there, there's an ink pad, and there's a stamp. They're important for later, just thought I'd show you that they're there. So if we go into the main part of the lobby, you've got your you can use your key to open up your box here, but there's nothing in it, so it seems pointless. These are the removal men, the moving men, and they are here to give us the this sofa here. They're supposed to be delivering it. Essentially, they're complete arseholes, and they've got it trapped in the door and have decided, yeah, it's delivered. Then you can argue the toss all you like, but I'm just going for the quick way for it to shut up. The important thing is that you get a one of them, a crowbar from them. That's essentially all they're good for, is getting a crowbar. So let's go back to the lobby, and if you can't guess, the crowbar is for opening up the floorboard up in your room. So go back to our room, which is this one on the right, on level 2. In we go, and I can just go straight across into the bedroom, and we come to our first, what I consider a real puzzle. So let us use the crowbar with the floorboard. Snapped it in half, that means it's gone now, we can't use that crowbar again. And essentially here we have a circuit board, and we can examine everything, and he tells you what it is. And so this is the machine, this is the fuse, and these are the power levels. And essentially what we need to do is bring both those power levels up to maximum. Don't know if it doesn't matter if you know anything about electronics, but these resistors resist, and so the power, every time it goes through one of these resistors, the power reaching here gets less and less and less. So basically you've got to avoid as many of these resistors as possible, but still have the power going through. I'm not going to talk you through doing that. I mean, you can follow what I'm doing here if you wish to, if that will help. But I've done this quite a few times now, and I've worked out a reasonably quick way of doing it. So you see there, we've already got the left one completely full, so we just need to get the right one full. Nearly there, look. Just trying to avoid every single one of these, or as many as I can. Bang, and it blows the fuse. So we need to bypass that fuse somehow. So a fuse is essentially just a wire, a piece of metal, but instead of it blowing, we use a thicker piece of metal. Boom. And now instead of blowing the fuse, we blow the machine, which is kind of what would happen. And what that does is open up. It opens this up, this picture, and behind the picture is a camera. Now your girlfriend, I think it's Alicia, starts talking to you about it and asks you what it is. You say you're not sure, so let's go and examine that. I tell her what it is. It's a surveillance camera. She asks who it is. I'm saying probably Mr. Morton, as he has the opportunity to do something like that. So she wants to contact the police basically, so I'm going to tell her I just want to make sure, I'm going to go and keep an eye on him, make sure he doesn't run away or, you know, tamper with the evidence or anything. So that's saving at the moment, but it's quite quick on this machine. So we're going to go out. She's now calling up the police, and I'm going to have the same problem I always have going out here. There we go, second time's lucky. Right, so we want to go back down to the first floor, to where his office was, Mr. Morton's office. And here we are. Now, the importance of this key. There's the key. You notice this is slightly open. We can't raise the window, it won't budge, but we do still have our letter, so we can put our letter underneath and grab the key that way and pick up the key, and there we go. Once you've unlocked this door, that brings you to chapter 2. You just take that to the door to open it. You've unlocked it, and when you click on that, that's the end of chapter 1 completely, and you're done. Okay, well that was it for this one. I will be uploading the second one shortly for chapter 2, and I'll keep these going until I've done all 4 chapters, and then I'll be bringing out all the text versions of them with just basic instructions in a numerical order of what you need to do to complete the game. Thanks very much.